Alright, what is up everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. It's the start of a new month, which means it is power rankings time. I'm going to give my power rankings for all 30 teams for the start of March 2025 here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. We had just hit 900 subscribers, so thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. Now the road to 1,000 starts here, so let's get it going. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, doing all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Link to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So we're starting at number 30. We have the Washington Wizards sitting at 10-48, the worst record in the league, 30th ranked offense, 29th ranked defense, 30th in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. Wizards are still the Wizards. You know, they're still bad. At the trade deadline, they made moves, got rid of guys like Kyle Kuzma, Jonas Valanciunas, which I think were the right moves. Brought in Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart, two vets that so far have been doing solid. You know, Marcus Smart is showing a lot of his value. You know, playing good defense, mentoring, doing stuff like that. Chris Middleton has had his games here and there. But yeah, still Jordan Poole is still having a pretty solid year. Thankfully, now we get to see more Bilal Coulibaly, Alex Sarr, Bub Carey. Those guys get a lot more opportunity and a lot more shots. Even some other guys like Tristan Vukcevic are playing more. AJ Johnson has been playing a lot more, you know. They even signed Jalen McDaniels, you know. So you're going to see a lot of those young guys play a lot more, which I think is the right thing to do for the Wizards. And yeah, they're just going to cruise along and go try to capture the flag. At number 29, we have the Charlotte Hornets. They are 14-44, 14th in the East. They have the 29th rated offense, 16th rated defense, a 28th in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. The Hornets have been just on another level of bad. You know, Brandon Miller's out for the season. LaMelo's been in out of the lineup. You know, they had to trade for Mark Williams, but then they got denied, so now he's back in. But the month of February has just been horrible. So far they're on a 5-game losing streak. They've lost 8 of their last 9, and overall since January 22nd, they are 3-16. You know, and then they had that big stretch where they lost 3 games in a row, losing by 53 to the Portland Trailblazers, lost by 42 to the Kings, lost by 36 to the Warriors. Overall combined score, I think, of 42 or 46.3, the worst 3-game stretch in NBA history, basically. And yeah, they are really bad. You know, like they just I can't even describe how bad they are. Like they literally are maybe the most unwatchable team in the NBA right now, which is saying a lot because the Washington Wizards exist and the Utah Jazz exist. Like that's saying a lot that they are the most unwatchable team in the NBA. Even with LaMelo, it's tough to watch a little bit. You know, even though LaMelo is one of my favorite players, I love LaMelo Ball. It's just tough to watch this team. Like it's tough to watch guys like Miles Bridges. I mean, Damian Baugh is playing 27 minutes per game for this team. He's been decent, but like Damian Baugh, no, and I didn't even know who he was. I saw him on the corner. I was like, who the heck is number 7? And I had to Google who he was. Like it's very bad out there for the Hornets, man. And it's just like, I mean, good. The only good thing is we're gonna get another top pick to hopefully pair next to LaMelo and Brandon Miller. But besides that, there's not really any bright spot or bright points of the season in general for Charlotte, except for that LaMelo's good when he's playing, and we're gonna get another top 5 pick potentially. That's really the only silver linings I guess you hold on to if you're the Hornets, but they are very bad. At number 28, we have the Utah Jazz. They are 15-44, bottom of the Western Conference. Have the 22nd rated offense, 30th rated defense, and are 27th in net rating. They jump up one spot from last power ranking video. Jazz still very bad, you know, still kind of not good, but they do get some wins sometimes. They do have games where you're like, dang, like, you know, like in the month of February, they beat they beat the Magic, they beat the Warriors before the Jimmy trade, went to overtime with the Suns, you know, one of the Clipper games. Well, never mind, they lost by 20. They beat the Lakers, you know, after losing to them, getting blown out the night before. They come back, lose to the Lakers. They went to overtime with the Clippers, you know, beat the Rockets. Portland was a close loss. They beat Minnesota last night without Anthony Edwards. Like, they have games sometimes in this month where they're like, dang, they're actually competing a little bit, you know? And some of their young guys have been better. You know, John Collins still having a decent season. Keontae George, I feel like he's getting better as the season's progressed. Walker Kessler is having a really underrated season. KJ Martins is going there. He's been pretty solid. Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski getting better. Isaiah Collier, I feel like he's been one of the better rookies over the past month that no one's really talking about. He's having amazing games with 13 assists, 14 assists. He's been starting to pick it up a lot. So the Jazz have a little bit of things you're like, oh, okay. It's still a very bad team. Still a team that you don't watch a lot of. But they have some young guys right now that are kind of stepping up and being like, okay, and they're playing in a lot closer games than expected. So that's all that they kind of really want right now in Utah. At 27, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. They are 16 and 44, 14th in the West. They have the 25th rated offense, 20th rated defense, 29th in net rating. They stay the same from last Power Ranking video. Pelicans still bad. Trade deadline, they finally sent away Brandon Ingram. Surprisingly did not trade CJ McCollum. Herb Jones is out for the year. So, again, not too much to hold on to for the Pelican season. Zion Williamson is playing some great basketball. He just had his first triple-double the other night. I made a short about that. And he's been playing really good since he's coming back from injury, man. I feel like every time I talk about the Pelicans, I've been talking about Zion for the past 2 months because Zion is playing really, really good right now. And it's not leading to wins. It's not going to really matter because they still suck. And he also, he's not going to play in back-to-backs. He didn't play last night for the Pelicans. So you have that. But when Zion is on the court and playing, he is playing amazing basketball. I think he's averaging 25, 7 and 5 or something like that. Well, on the season he's averaging 24, 7 and 5 with a steal and a block. But over the last month-ish, he's averaging 25, 7 and 5, double-doubles, triple-double. He had a 40-point game against the Kings not too long ago, shooting 60% from the field. He's had 8 games of shooting 60% or more. He is playing some great basketball. And I'm very interested to see what the Pelicans do after the season. And I'm talking a lot more about this when I do start doing the look-in series, which is a series I do at the end of every season where I review the team season and look at the future, what could happen. What do the Pelicans think of Zion Williamson right now? The Pelicans, are they still believing that Zion is their franchise guy after this season? Because if they don't, there's even a little bit of doubt. If I'm another team, I'm making a call just to see the value. Even if I don't get it, I'm making a call because he's playing really good. Trey Murphy's having a really good season. Seeing a lot of guys. Brandon Boston just got a contract converted to a regular shot to him. Jordan Hawkins is playing a lot more minutes. Yves Missi is still playing really solid. Kelly Olynyk, who they got in the Brandon Ingram trade, so far is he starts now. They put Zion at the 3 because Kelly Olynyk comes in and makes a difference. Carlo Makovich is playing a lot more minutes. Antonio Reeves is playing minutes. So it's you're seeing a lot more of the young guys play, but Zion Williamson is playing really, really good, and that's really the only redeeming quality of the New Orleans Pelicans right now. At number 26, you have the Toronto Raptors. They are 18 and 42 at 13 in the East. They have the 26th rated offense, 24th rated defense, and are 25th in net rating. They drop 1 spot from last Power Ranking video. Raptors thought they're going to have a really nice second half of the year. They have the easiest schedule left in the NBA, and they have mostly healthy. RJ and Scotty are playing. Quickly is back, so that's good. You got the big 3, I guess, back together again. Brandon Ingram is on the team. He's not playing. I don't even know if he's ever going to come back, but whatever. And so far they're 1 and 4. Just come back from All-Star break. They did beat the Suns, and they did go to overtime with Miami and Chicago last night. They gave the Celtics a decent run. So, they're playing better. Man Quickly's had some fun moments. RJ Barrett's had some fun moments. Scotty's doing Scotty things. Chris Boucher is playing really good right now, getting more minutes from Jacoby Walter and Jamal Shed, and Jonathan Mobo and guys like them. But yeah, they still are bad, still trying to lose games, but at least they have, IQ, RJ, and Scotty playing together right now, which is what they really need to evaluate what their future core is going to be. At 25, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They are 20 and 38, sitting at 12th in the Eastern Conference, 23rd rated offense, 25th rated defense, 24th in net rating. They dropped 2 spots in the last Power Ranking video. Sixers have been just getting more and more into the abyss as they go. You feel like they can't get any worse, and somehow they find a way to this season. It's just been going downhill and downhill and downhill. We just learned yesterday that Joel Embiid is going to be out for the rest of the season due to a knee injury, which is not really surprising. Joel Embiid, the future of Joel Embiid is really in question kind of right now. And this era for the 76ers of Joel Embiid and all that stuff might already kind of be over right now. Joel, with his knee injuries, all this stuff, the different surgical options that they're talking about for Joel, if he does take the surgery, are very tough, and it's going to take a long time for him to come back. Paul George, the first year of a new contract, he has not been playing up to Paul George standard for someone that's getting $212 million. You have that to think about. And it's just, things are going downhill. They've lost 9 games in a row. They have just, it's a free fall right now for the 76ers. And it looks like they're probably going to go into kind of like a, let's just, try to get this pick, because top 6 projected pick. So you're seeing Quentin Grimes start, Justin Edwards starts. Jared Butler's getting a lot more minutes. David Roddy just got signed. Lonnie Walker just got signed. They just signed Jalen Hood-Schifino last night to a two-way contract, so he's probably going to play more. And you're just going to see a lot more of the young guys for the 76ers, and we're just going to rock out with them the rest of the year. Paul George, if your fingers hurt at some point, they're probably going to shut him down for the year. Tyrese probably can still play, but, whenever, if on a back-to-back some nights, and be like, Tyrese, you can sit. Let Jalen Hood-Schifino and let Jared Butler start tonight. So, yeah, it's just going to be a free fall for the 76ers and just kind of like a wasted season, unfortunately, which really, really sucks, and I'm going to talk more about it again at the end of the season about the Sixers and what their future looks like, but it looks kind of dim right now. At number 24, we have the Brooklyn Nets. They are 21-38, sitting at 11th in the Eastern Conference. 27th rated offense, 23rd rated defense, 26th in net rating. They jump up 2 spots from last Power Ranking video. Nets still trying to lose, but yet they're still in the play-in mix. They're still only like 2 games out of the play-in, because why not? The Eastern Conference, the bottom of the East is so bad. Even though they're trying to lose, it's not happening. Well, it's happening, but yet they're still somehow competitive. They have some good games. A lot of the younger guys are playing. They just signed Killian Hayes, and so far, Killian Hayes, 5 games, hasn't been that bad. Shooting 42% from 3, 10 points, 5 assists. Killian Hayes might be back. Who knows? But yeah, you're seeing a lot more of the young guys play. Zaire Williams, Noah Clowney, Tosan Evboam from Princeton is getting a lot of minutes. He's actually playing well. Jalen Wilson, Trent Wofford, Daron Sharp just had a really nice game against OKC. Tyrese Martin, even Reese Bigman from Virginia is playing some minutes. So you definitely obviously know they're trying to tank, and at least trying to tank and trying to lose. Yet somehow they're still in the play-in race, because the Eastern Conference is the Eastern Conference. But yeah, Brooklyn, seeing a lot of the young guys play, they're doing decent. So, yeah, just keep doing your thing and hope you don't make the play-in. At 23, we have the Chicago Bulls. They are 24-36, 10th in the East. They have the 17th rated offense, 26th rated defense, and 23rd in net rating. They drop 1 spot from last Power Ranking video. The Bulls are still in the play-in, even though they're trying to lose. They lost. They won a 6-game losing streak in the middle of February, and they're still in the play-in. So they're like, let's start winning. They won 2 of their last 3. They absolutely destroyed the 76ers. Kept it close with the Clippers until James Harden put them away. Last night, exciting overtime win over the Toronto Raptors. So, getting some good wins. Josh Giddey has been playing amazing since coming back from All-Star break. He had 4 straight games of 20-point double-doubles until last night. He had only 19 in a double-double with 8 rebounds, 12 assists. He's been playing amazing basketball the last couple games. His 3-point shot has fallen. He's getting to the bucket. He's playing a lot more aggressive. So, you see that and you're like, trying to get his money. He's eligible for an extension in the offseason. He wants a lot of money. Are the Bulls going to give it to him? I don't know, maybe. But so far this stretch, he's been playing really good. You're seeing a lot of the young guys play. The guys they got at the trade deadline, Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, all 3 of them have had their moments at some points. Alonzo Ball is playing really well. Montez Buzelis is starting and getting a lot more minutes, so you'll love to see that. Dylan Terry's getting a lot more minutes. So, they were trying to lose. But now at this point, it's like, you know what? We might as well just do whatever, because even if we do lose 7 in a row, we're still going to be the 10th seed, because the 76ers and Nets also suck. So I guess we're just going to be in this play-in, and we're going to get another play-in appearance and a chance to make the playoffs for some reason, even though this team is really bad and they don't want it. But the GMs and the GMs and stuff want the Bulls to win. So I guess that's what's going to happen. At 22, we have the San Antonio Spurs. They are 24-33 at 13th in the West. They have the 19th rated offense, 17th rated defense, and are 20th in net rating. They dropped 2 spots from last Power Ranking video. Spurs were trying to go on a little play-in push, acquiring De'Aaron Fox and all that stuff. We learned that Victor Wembanyama is going to be out for the season due to a blood clot in his shoulder. Hopefully he gets better soon and he'll be back for next season. But that really just kind of put a dent in the entirety of the rest of the year for the Spurs. And we also learned that Greg Popovich will not come back this season due to the stroke that he suffered back in November. He won't come back this season. There's still a little bit of doubt of the future for him. Hopefully, we get to see him back at some point as well. So for the Spurs, it's kind of just like a year where it's like, all right, let's see how De'Aaron Fox works with this team. Like, De'Aaron has been kind of up and down. He started off really nice. The last couple games, he's been kind of struggling. Get guys like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Song, get them more acclimated with him. Stephon Castle also, he's been playing really good. For some reason, he's not playing a whole lot of minutes. I don't know why. They just signed Bismack Biyombo. Bismack Biyombo's actually been pretty nice. Shout out to Bismack, man. Getting another opportunity. So, yeah, the Spurs right now are just kind of in a weird mix where they're like, well, we're not going to make the play-in. We lost our star player. Let's just try to get De'Aaron Fox acclimated with the rest of the guys, and hopefully they can build the chemistry. So when Wemby comes back, it's just a smooth sailing thing, and next year we can get off to a good start. So that's really what the Spurs, I guess, game plan should be right now. At 21, we have the Phoenix Suns. They are 28 and 32 at 11th in the West. They have the 10th rated offense, 27th rated defense, and are 19th in net rating. They have the biggest drop in this power ranking. They drop 8 spots from last power ranking video. The Suns just are not good. Trade deadline, did not acquire Jimmy Butler. They did get Cody Martin and Vasilij Micic, who both had not even played yet for their team. Traded away Nurkic. And yeah, they have lost 7 of their last 9 games they've lost, and overall 10 of their last 11. I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry. Why am I? I don't know why I said 10 of their last 11. They lost 10 of their last 13. Since the start of February, they're 3 and 10. They went 3 and 10 in the month of February. Things are not good. Things are not good. Bad losses too, like lost to the Spurs without Wemby. Kept it close with the Bulls. They needed like Bradley Beal to have a great game to beat the Bulls. Lost to Toronto. Lost in overtime to Memphis. Lost to the Pelicans last night. They come back and beat the Pelicans. But it's just been very bad. And honestly, they look checked out a little bit. Kevin Durant looks a little bit checked out. Bradley Beal just kind of been doing whatever. They had that report yesterday talking about Mike Budenholzer telling Devin Booker to tone it down, which is very bad. Like literally the opposite of what you need right now. Trying to make a play and push, and you're telling your star player, "Hey, let's not go too crazy. Let's calm down a little bit." Like that's just something. I mean, Bol was playing, and Bol has actually been pretty good. He had a really good game last night, so cool. Bol finally get an opportunity, but they're bad. They're just bad. It's not even a fun watch a lot. I mean, even though Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are two of the most fun players to watch, at least for me, I love both of those guys' game so much. But it's just tough to watch this team because you're like, man, like it's just a disconnect between all the players and the coaches and all that. It looks bad. And even though they're not too far, I mean, they're only like 2.5-ish games out of the play-in. I don't have confidence in this team at all. And it's just, yeah, it's bad right now in Phoenix. At 20, we have the Portland Trailblazers. They are 27 and 33 at 12th in the West. 24th rated offense, 22nd rated defense, 22nd in net rating. They jump up 4 spots from last power ranking video. Blazers have been on absolute fire. They've won 14 of their last 19 games. They're currently on a 4-game win streak. They went on a 6-game win streak between the end of January and early February. They did go on a 4-game losing streak around All-Star break, but now they're back to a 4-game win streak. Granted, those 4 wins are against the Hornets, Jazz, Wizards, and Nets, but wins are wins. And the Blazers went from being 15 games under 500 to now 6 games under 500, and honestly, kind of in the play-in mix. Like, are they going to make it? Probably not. I wouldn't bet money on it, but they're only about 3.5-ish games out, which isn't crazy. It isn't like out of the realm of possibility, which is wild. They've been playing great basketball on both ends. Anthony Simons had some big moments. Shane Sharp's had big games. He just had a 36-point game, I want to say, against the Wizards the other night in a crazy dunk. Danny's been playing well. Scoot Henderson is looking better and better. Toumani Camara has been such a vital piece. Donovan Clingan is healthy and playing a lot. Their defense has been getting better and better as seasons progressed, and they just look confident too. Like the confidence they have as well, just going out there and just playing solid ball. They have really good connecting pieces together that are playing really, really well. They don't have Ayton, unfortunately, which is going to be tough because he was actually kind of a big part of them winning a lot of those games. But Portland is playing pretty well right now, and it just kind of makes you excited. Like, I honestly really like the Blazers' future a little bit. Like, I'm looking at the Blazers' future. I'm like, dang, like there's something here. For the first time in a couple of years, you could say, wow, like there's something. And if they do, I mean, they're going to go through these next 7 games are going to be a gauntlet. The start of March is going to be a gauntlet for them. They have to go against like Cleveland, Boston, OKC, all on the road. So if they even go like 3-4 these next 7 games, that would be very impressive. And even if they keep close with teams like the Cavs and the Celtics and the Thunder, and I think they play the Pistons, they play the Warriors, the Knicks, like the start of March is going to be crazy for them. If they even keep close with a lot of these games and somehow find a way to win 1 or 2 of them, I'd be very impressed. But the Blazers right now playing some really good ball. At number 19, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They are 27 and 33 at 9th in the East. They have the 21st rated offense, 19th rated defense, and a 21st in net rating. They jump up 2 spots from last power ranking video. Hawks are kind of in just this weird realm where, they've kind of been falling off, but they're still in the play-in. They're going to make the play-in because the Eastern Conference is the Eastern Conference. Trae Young's been playing a lot better recently. They had to step up. No Jalen Johnson for the rest of the season. Made some trades, and those guys have actually been good. Caris LeVert and Georges Niang have actually been pretty nice, and so has Terrence Mann a little bit. You know, those three have been actually fitting in a little bit well. Johnson Daniels is still playing at an elite level defensively. Eke Okongwu is a starter now, and he's had his moments here and there. So the Hawks, they still have some things you can hold on to and be fun and have a game where they get 125 points or something like that. Mohamed Gay is a starter now because why not? You know, at this point, if you're Atlanta, just trying things out. But the Hawks, yeah, I mean, they still have their moments where they're fun and stuff. Haven't been as great in the start of 2025, but still probably going to make a play in, and that could be exciting. At number 18, we have the Orlando Magic. They're 29 and 32 at 8 in the East. They have the 28th rated offense, second rated defense, and are 18th in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. Orlando just been struggling. You know, Paolo and Franz are back, and somehow they're still struggling. Their offense has just been very, very bad. Like struggling to score even 100 points. They did get a good win. Oh no, they lost. They lost to the Warriors when Steph had 56. Got blown out by Cleveland. Lost to Memphis. Just tough losses. You know, especially in that Warriors game where they had a pretty good lead in the first half. Then Steph Curry just said, "Nope, we're not doing that." And yeah, I mean, Paolo and Franz haven't been playing bad. You know, we just learned yesterday that Jalen Suggs is going to be out indefinitely due to an injury, which is a big punch because they desperately need Jalen Suggs right now. The injuries have just been piling up, and the offense just doesn't really have anything. I mean, Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, Wendell Carter, KCP's having a pretty bad year. I mean, their leading three-point shooter is Corey Joseph. And well, it was Mo Wagner before the injury, but right now, Corey Joseph is their best three-point shooter by percentage. And he doesn't even really play. He plays 7 minutes a game. Like, it's very, the shooting is bad. The offense is just tough to watch. You know, it's really just kind of just Paolo and Franz having to go one-on-one and get to the bucket and get to the free throw line because that's the kind of what their offense is right now because no one trusts anybody else on the perimeter. It really sucks. It really does suck. I mean, they're still going to make a play in. Still going to be a tough team to beat because their defense is so elite and they have Paolo and Franz, two guys that can pop off and get 30 or 40 if they really need to. But they're on a big struggle bus right now. At number 17, we have the Miami Heat. They are 28 and 30 at 7 in the East. They have the 18th rated offense, 11th rated defense, and are 17th in net rating. They dropped one spot from last power ranking video. Heat have been just kind of like this the entire year where they're just up and down. Kind of, we don't really know what's going to be, what's going to happen, you know, struggling a little bit. Since the trade acquisitions, I thought they were going to have a big second half of the year and jump, and they lost the first couple games. They did win back-to-back games to beat Atlanta. Good win against Indiana last night. But it's still been struggling. You know, Tyler Hero's still having a phenomenal season. Andrew Wiggins hasn't been bad. I mean, he's not shooting the ball super well, but he hasn't been bad at all. It's just like, it's just, I don't know. It's just they're missing a lot of continuity. They're missing a lot of good offense. Bam is just not having the same Bam and Adebayo type year that we're used to. Terry Rozier has been pretty bad. I'm pretty sure Terry Rozier isn't barely even playing anymore. You know, so it's just really tough. I think Jaime Jaquez got hurt last night when he was starting to play decent. I mean, the only good thing is Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware's starting now, and he's playing pretty good. He shows some flashes, and Tyler Hero's having an all-star year. Besides that, nothing else has really been working out for Miami, and they're just kind of stuck in this range where they're just kind of like average. At 16, we have the Sacramento Kings. They are 30 and 28 at 10th in the West. They have the 7th rated offense, 18th rated defense, and are 11th in net rating. They drop one spot from last power ranking video. Kings still been doing Kings things. You know, they made the big trade, trading away De'Aaron Fox, bringing in Zach LaVine. They also brought in Jonas Valanciunas. So far, Zach started off a little bit slow, but he had a couple big games. As of recently, still kind of a weird fit with Zach LaVine being there in terms of him having to be a shooter from three and stuff, and the three-point shot wasn't really falling until he had that big game against the Hornets. So maybe that can get better. DeMar DeRozan is still doing his thing. Sabonis has still been Sabonis. Had a good game from Keegan Murray here and there. Keon Ellis still trying to figure out his minutes and where he fits in, even though he's desperately needed, but just not enough minutes for him, maybe. They did just sign Markelle Fultz, which shout out to them. Markelle back in the league. Valanciunas has been pretty decent so far. Their depth is still kind of bad for this team. So they've been good. 17 and 10 under Doug Christie. Things have been getting better. They're in the play-in mix right now, trying to climb a little bit, but they're still kind of just in this weird realm of just being like, you know, I mean, they're gonna have games where they're gonna score a lot of points and win games like that. But do you trust them to get defensive stop? Do you trust them to be good in the clutch? I don't really know. So they're still kind of in this weird limbo, but things are going, I guess, a lot better than what they were going, and they look like they're gonna make a play-in appearance. So that's really all they need right now. At 15, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are 32 and 29 at ninth in the West. They have the 7th rated offense. I'm sorry, the 13th rated offense, 6th rated defense, 8th in net rating. They dropped 3 spots from last power ranking video. Minnesota, they have had their injury problems recently. Julius Randle's missed the last couple games. Rudy Gobert's missed the last couple games. DiVincenzo just came back on their last game, so they've had to play a lot of the younger guys. And it's still been Anthony Edwards still doing his thing. I mean, give you 27 a game. Chill out on the technical foul. He just got suspended last night for a technical foul, so we got to chill, Ant, on that. They still been able to win. I mean, they had an amazing comeback against OKC the other day. That was phenomenal. You know, they beat OKC actually twice in a 3-game span, so that's pretty nice. But they also lost to the Rockets, lost to the Lakers. They just lost last night to Utah without Ant. I mean, in the Laker game, basically, they came back actually without Ant, but lost that game anyway. And it's just kind of been, you know, I mean, the young guys have been playing decent. I mean, Nasri is still playing good. Jaden McDaniels has been playing very, very good since Julius Randle and Don DiVincenzo went out. You know, Jaden McDaniels brings another, you know, spark plug to this team. Nikhil is still doing his thing. And then you get Terrence Shannon Jr. has been very good over the last couple games. Rob Dillingham is starting to get minutes and finding his way. Jalen Clark is starting games, and he just got a standard contract. Shout out to Jalen Clark. So you get some of the young guys that are looking good, and they're like, oh, okay. You know, at least, you know, they can know that we can rely on them when we do have the injuries like this. But it's still been a rough fit with Julius Randle. They're still kind of been very inconsistent in terms of you win that game against OKC, and then you lose to the Jazz. You know, granted, again, Anthony Edwards didn't play, and if Anthony Edwards plays that game, they probably win. But still, it's just kind of like a weird, like, kind of just like inconsistency where we don't know. They're going to have a week where it's like, oh man, here are the Timberwolves that we're looking for. You know, here's the Timberwolves that could compete and they could sneak around and beat some teams. And then you have another week where you're like, dang, this is a kind of a mess right now, and they just don't look good. So they're still very inconsistent. At number 14, we have the Dallas Mavericks at 32 and 28, sitting at 8th in the West. They have the 9th rated offense, 14th rated defense, and a 12th in net rating. They stay the same from last power ranking video. Last power ranking video I did was before Luka Doncic got traded, and yeah, that's a thing. But well, the last couple games for the Mavericks have actually been a lot better than expected, considering they've just been getting bamboozled with injuries. I mean, Anthony Davis, first game he played was absolutely phenomenal, and then he got hurt in the third quarter, and so far, he won't be back for a little while. No Derek Lively, no Daniel Gafford, most likely maybe for the rest of the season. You know, I mean, they had to sign, Kyler Kelly, Moses Brown has got a 10-day contract. You know, so injuries have just been piling up there, especially for the big men. It's putting a lot more on the plate at Kyrie. But they've been winning games. I mean, before the All-Star break, they beat Boston in Boston. They beat the Rockets in that game with Anthony Davis. Lost only by 1 to Sacramento. You know, a DeMar DeRozan shot. Beat Golden State, beat Miami. Then coming back from All-Star break, they beat the Pelicans. Got blown out by the Warriors, but they kept close with the Lakers the other night. And Luka's, you know, revenge game. Beat the Hornets the other day. So they've actually been playing a lot better than expected. You know, Kyrie's still doing his thing. Max Christie has been a great piece so far, added into this team. And, you know, they've just been playing tough, honestly. That's really what it is. They've just been playing tough, grimy, grinded out basketball in a sense of we know we don't have all the size and the bigs, and we don't have our full team, but we're going to come out and compete anyway. We're going to have moments where we're going to lock you up, get out in transition, get some steals, some blocks, get to the free throw line a lot. They've been doing that, and just keep it competitive, which is what they kind of need right now until AD comes back. That's all they really need is just kind of be competitive, you know, win some games, they've stolen some wins from some good teams, just catching them lacking. And yeah, so that's been kind of inspiring for the Mavericks. Number 13, we have the Golden State Warriors. They are 32 and 27 at 7th in the West. They have the 16th rated offense, 8th rated defense, and a 10th in net rating. They are tied for the biggest jump in this power ranking video, jumping up 6 spots. The Warriors, after having a very good start and a very bad average middle of the season, and now since Jimmy Butler trade, they are back up. They're 7-1 since acquiring Jimmy Butler. Some good wins. They beat the Bucks, beat Rockets, the Kings, Mavericks, the Magic in their last game when they were down in the first half, and Steph went nuclear. Their only loss is to the Mavericks, but they've been playing very good. I mean, they just look rejuvenated. I mean, Jimmy has just done so much of this team. I talked about it in the video I made the other day, talking about new faces and new places, how they look. Jimmy Butler's just been a perfect fit. I mean, having a guy that can take a lot of pressure off of Steph Curry, and Steph Curry right now is playing the best basketball of the season right now because he just has another guy that can kind of handle a lot of the load, you know, being a guy that is a threat to score 20 and 25 and being an actual all-star level threat, which is not something the Warriors have had before him. Just being a guy that can put pressure on the rim, which is something the Warriors did not do. Being a guy that can get to the free throw line a lot, which is something the Warriors didn't really have. He could also fit their defensive identity, and they've been very good defensively since Jimmy come over. So he's just been just a spark plug. He's really just put the plug back in to the Warriors back, and now all of a sudden, they're playing really good. You even have other guys playing good. Draymond, Brady Pajemski is playing the best basketball of the season after having a very bad start. Moses Moody is starting now, and he's been playing phenomenal. Quentin Post has been their guy. He's kind of taken a lot of Trace Jackson Davis minutes because Quentin Post, who was the 52nd overall pick that no one even knew he existed before a couple weeks ago, all of a sudden he's playing some inspiring basketball. So like it's just Guy Santos is getting it, like just guys that you wouldn't expect now are just kind of rejuvenated, re-energized, and playing really good. And the Warriors are playing, looking very similar to the Warriors that we saw the first month of the year when they were number one in the West at one point. So it's just been a big jump for this Warriors team. I wanted to put them higher in this power ranking, but I wanted to chill out just a little bit because it's only been 7 games. Still have a whole another month to go. But with them having one of the easier schedules left in the Western Conference, and with the way they're rolling right now, do not be surprised if the Warriors jump. They're tied with the Clippers for the 6th spot. So there's a real chance the Warriors climb out of their play-in and maybe jump up to that 5, potentially maybe even 4, depending on how well this month goes. But the Warriors are back right now. They're playing very good basketball, and don't watch out. Number 12, we have the LA Clippers. They are 32-27 at 6th in the West. They have the 20th rated offense, 3rd rated defense, and are 9th in their rating. They dropped 2 spots from last Power Ranking video. Clippers have still been solid. They've been a little bit losing. They lost 4 of their last 5 games against some good teams. Norman Powell has missed the last couple games. Kawhi's still been in that lineup, still trying to find his rhythm. But they made some moves. Bogdanovich has been playing decent. He's not shooting the ball super, super well, but he's playing decent. Ben Simmons so far in his 5 games has looked pretty nice as well. Chris Dunn is still looking very good. James Harden is still doing James Harden things. He had that game against Chicago where he dropped 30 and closed the game out. So yeah, the Clippers are still solid. It's tough. They're gonna have to really ramp it up for this next month because the Warriors are catching up, are right behind them, and they're not too far out, from 8 and all that stuff. So they're gonna have to really step up and start balling if they want, to stay in that top 6 and skip out on the play-in. But they're still an amazing defensive team. That's really what they're hanging their hat on. Their offense still has been kind of in limbo, but when Norman Powell comes back, and hopefully we can finally get Kawhi Leonard to get back into a rhythm in this month, hopefully he can start having some games that look more like Kawhi. But if they could do that, then they're still they're a very interesting team to me. I might talk about this more when it comes to talking about. I'm going to do a video eventually at some point talk about tier list contenders and talk about playoff teams. The Clippers are a very interesting team to me because I'm like, man, some nights I'm like, dang, could this team win a series? Maybe. They have the defense to do it. They have the guys like Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and even Norman Powell now that can pop off and have big nights and can carry you to a win if they need to. The Clippers are very interesting to me. At number 11, we have the Detroit Pistons at 33-27 at 6 in the East. They have the 12th rated offense, 12th rated defense, and are 15th in that rating. They are tied with the Warriors for the biggest jump in this power rankings, +6. The Pistons have been playing well. A very amazing month of February for the Pistons. In the month of February, they went 10-2. I'm sorry, 10-3. They were just on an 8-game win streak before last night, losing to the the Nuggets. They are the Pistons. They lost to the Nuggets. They've won 10 of their last 13 games, and they've jumped all the way up from. They started this month 500 at 24-24. They're starting March now 6 games above 500, comfortably in the playoff, and not even thinking about playing anymore. Now we're thinking about, can they jump and have home court advantage in the first round? They're only, I think, a game behind Milwaukee, or even tied to Milwaukee. They're only a game and a half behind the Bucks. There's a real shot the Detroit Pistons can have home court advantage in a first round series this year. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The start of the season, we just wanted them to kind of be better, win over 20 games, be a 13-12 seed, just look like you have the part. And right now, they're in the mix for a potential top 4 seed in the East. That is nuts. They just been doing such an amazing job. Jimmy Biggerstaff definitely is going to get a lot of Coach of the Year love, even though he probably won't win it. He's going to get a lot of love because the turnaround has just been insane. Kate Cunningham right now looks like a budding superstar. Malik Beasley is having just a phenomenal season. Tobias Harris has been doing his thing. Jalen Duren has been getting a lot better as the season progressed. The last month, Jalen Duren has been playing really good. Asar Thompson is really coming into his own. Ron Hahn is coming into his own a little bit as well as finding his way. Dennis Schroeder has been a really good piece to this team, even though he's not shooting the ball super crazy. He's been a good piece to this team. Isaiah Stewart gives him good minutes. Marcus Sasser comes in and gives him some minutes here and there. Their defense has been pretty solid. They're offensively catching up to their defense. Because earlier in the year, we're a really good defensive team, and offense was kind of just like whatever. Now it's kind of even. They're 12th and 12th. So it's coming together very nice. And the Pistons are an actual like team you have to worry about now. The Pistons are actually a team where you're like, dang, if you don't come with it, they can catch you. They catch you in a playoff series. I don't know how confident I am in them winning a playoff series, but they're definitely going to give some to whatever team they face. They're going to give them a fight. Absolutely, literally and figuratively. So the Pistons they're playing so good. They're probably like the success story of the season so far. It's just been so fun to watch them grow throughout the season, and yeah, I cannot wait to see how this month of March, how much they can jump up if they can. At number 10, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. They are 33 and 25, sitting at 4th in the East. They have the 15th rated offense, 10th rated defense, and are 13th in net rating. They dropped 2 spots from last power ranking video. Bucks have been solid. They dealt with Giannis missing some time a little bit. Dame missed some time a little bit. So far, they've won, I think, 4 of their last 5 games. Yeah, oh no, 5 of their last 6 games they won, beating some good teams. They beat Minnesota, beat the Clippers, beat Miami, they beat Denver on TNT on Thursday. They only lost to the Rockets in a very close game. But the Bucks, they've been solid. I mean, Giannis is playing on a little bit of minutes restriction, and he's still giving you like 28 and 30-point games. Dame has still been pretty good. The additions, Kyle Kuzma, I like what I've seen from Kyle Kuzma. I like how he fits into this team, even though he's not shooting the ball super well, only 28% from 3. He's not having like insane scoring numbers, but he's still, I like what he brings to this team, and I like how he just is another guy that can handle the ball and be a guy that can do something with the ball besides Giannis and Dame. Even Kevin Porter Jr., I like what I see from him, even though, again, he's only averaging 8 points since being a Buck, but he's had moments, and I like what I see from him just being a guy, again, that can handle the ball and create something. But outside of Dame and Giannis, Taurean Prince is still shooting the ball well from 3. AJ Green is still shooting the ball super well. Bobby Portis is suspended till the end of the season. He'll be back for like the last 2 or 3 games. So that's a big blow to this bench. Brook Lopez has been solid in the Bucks. I mean, they're still an okay team. They still have their flaws. Still, you would like to see them better than what they should be. But if they can have a really solid month of March and solidify that top 4, maybe even make a play for the Knicks for the number 3 spot, like that could be very encouraging. At number 9, we have the Indiana Pacers. They are 33 and 25 at 5th in the East. They have the 8th rated offense, 21st rated defense, and are 16th in that rating. They jump up 2 spots from last power ranking video. Pacers has just been one of the hottest teams in the league for the past couple months. Again, after a 10 and 15 start to the year, they have just been on absolute fire. Went on big win streaks, and so far right now they won 4 of their last 6 games. Now fighting with the Bucks to try to get that 4 spot. To host a playoff series. And yeah, the Pacers they've been a lot better as the season's progressed. Pascal Siakam still doing his thing. He had a really good game last night, even though they lost to Miami. Tyrese Halliburton is slowly starting to get back into form and rhythm. They're healthy. They had a big injury bug early in the year, but now they're healthy. Aaron Nesmith's back. Andrew Nembhard's back. Everybody's kind of back in their space and playing well. Miles Turner shooting 40% from 3. Betting Mathurin still gives you some big nights scoring. Obi Toppin, TJ McConnell been getting better. So it's just, I feel like as the season progressed, they've just been getting better, more healthier, and just more comfortable, really. Early in the year, they just kind of look kind of uncomfortable and kind of just like they still trying to figure out what they are, what their new offense is, what's going to happen. Now, I mean, their pace is back up to top 10. Players are starting to get better. Players are starting to find their roles a lot more. And they're kind of I don't want to say a dangerous team in terms of winning a championship or anything like that, but they're definitely a team you cannot take lightly because they're a team that, their defense has been getting a lot better as the season progresses, and they still have the firepower to come out and beat you on every given night. So shout out to the Pacers for, really turning their season around, and now, they're fighting for home court in the East instead of being down in the plane at 7 and stuff. And number 8, we have the LA Lakers. They're 37 and 21 at 4th in the West. Are they 5th in the West? 4th or 5th in the West. On the 11th rated offense, 13th rated defense, and our 14th net rating. They jump up 1 spot from last power ranking video. So far in the Luka era, they have been pretty solid. They're 6 and 2, and with games with since acquiring Luka Doncic, since him playing his first game. Overall, they've won 11 of their last 13. They have been one of the hottest teams in the league after being, hovering around 500 for a lot of the first part of the season. They've now found their rhythm and getting better. LeBron James somehow is getting better and better in his 40-year-old season. Luka Doncic is not shooting the ball super well. He's still trying to find his rhythm offensively in terms of scoring wise, but everything else has been solid. Austin Reeves has been playing some amazing basketball. You're getting some good performances. Don't connect to shooting. Dorian Finney-Smith has been a big part of this team. Jordan Goodwin, they signed him to a contract, and so far he's been very, very active and just being an energy guy that can guard defensively. Jackson Hayes has been better now with Luka and LeBron. He has one of the easiest jobs in the league. Jared Vanderbilt's back, and he's playing some really good defense, bringing the energy that they need. Even three ball, he's not shooting bad, only 38%. He's taking less than one per game, but he's making them at least when he's taking them. So the Lakers just been there. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a big adjustment still having Luka and LeBron together, and Luka still trying to find his offensive rhythm. But like I said in the video I talked about the other day with new faces, new places, talk about Luka, scoring's the last thing I'm worried about with Luka. Like eventually he's gonna have a game where he drops 37, hit 5, 6 threes, and all of a sudden it's just gonna be like, oh well, there's Luka, and he's just gonna go on a run. So yeah, for the Lakers, not worried about that. The only thing you should worry about really is the role players, how consistent they're gonna be, and the defense. I mean, they've been playing pretty well and been very active. But how much can they continue that, especially when you go to a playoff series? But right now, Lakers have just been, they've been good. They've been good. They've been fun, winning games, and that's all they really need right now. At number 7, we have the Houston Rockets. They are 37-22, sitting at 5th in the West. They have the 14th rated offense, 4th rated defense, and are 7th in net rating. They dropped 3 spots from last Power Ranking video. Rockets, they started the month not great. They went on a little 6-game losing streak at the start of February, and things were looking downhill. But since that 6-game losing streak, they won 5 of their last 7 games. It hasn't been the toughest schedule, but they still been winning games. Beat Minnesota, beat the Bucks, they beat the Suns. They beat the Spurs the other day. So they still been doing their thing. They look a lot more locked in from that in the second half of the season. Jalen Green has had his big games, his big moments. Şengün has still been doing his thing. Amen Thompson has just been getting better and better and better, and he's been phenomenal. Jabari Smith Jr. is back. Tari Eason is back. Still missing Fred VanVleet. Still, hopefully he comes back pretty soon, because they definitely need him. But they've still been locked in defensively, still been getting good wins. Still have been doing their thing and being the Houston Rockets. They're fighting right now with the Lakers and the Nuggets and Grizzlies for seeding position in the Western Conference. But the Rockets have been very fun. Very good still. They went on a little losing streak, and you're kind of thinking, like, how are they going to respond after losing 6 in a row, and now teams are catching up to them. But they've responded pretty well. They're coming back. They're winning a lot more games, and they just look a lot more confident and more locked in these last couple. At number 6, we have the New York Knicks at 39-20, sitting at 3rd in the East. Have the 3rd rated offense, 20th rated defense, and a 6th in net rating. They dropped 1 spot from last Power Ranking video. Knicks still been good, still been winning games. They do have that infamous stat the last 2 weeks saying they're 0-7, 0-8 against the top tier teams in the league, and that's been a concern. And people are talking about, are the Knicks actually good? Are they contenders? Are they just like a fun team, whatever? I'll talk a lot more about that in my video when I talk about contenders. But for the Knicks, it's definitely tough. They don't have the same defense and the same intensity and kind of the grit. Last couple years, they've been just a team that's great. With Tom Thibodeau, you have guys on the wing that are gonna hustle for loose balls. Just a gritty team. You're not gonna be able to take advantage of them. This year it's a little different. Their identity's kind of changed a lot. They're a insane firepower offensive team that can score 130 points in any given night. Defense has not been as good. They don't have that same amount of grit and that kind of toughness. They're still a good team. They're still gonna win games just because they have good players. Jalen Brunson, Cat, Mikal, OG, Josh Hart. Those 5, you're gonna win games, obviously. But in terms of winning championships and all that stuff, it's a little weird and murky right now. They did just get back Mitch Robinson last night, who played a little bit, just give you 6 points, 5 boards. So hopefully he can kind of find his rhythm. That's going to help a lot, especially on the defensive end. McBride has been playing well. Campaign's has his moments. Precious Achiuwa gives some good minutes. Ariel Hukporti, their big man, was playing good until we just found out he had an injury, which really, really sucks. But yeah, I mean, the Knicks are still good. Are they contender? Who knows? But they're still a really good team that's going to win a lot of games. At number 5, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 30-21 at 3rd in the West. They have the 6th rated offense, 9th rated defense, and a 4th in net rating. They jump up 1 spot from last Power Ranking video. Grizzlies are a very good team, very fun team. The only thing really concerning about them is Ja Morant. Ja Morant has not really been the same Ja Morant that we're used to seeing, superstar Ja Morant. He does have his moments the last couple games in the 4th quarter, where he's really started to pop up. He had a game against the Magic. He was really good. Against the Suns in overtime in that win, he had some big shots. So like last night against New York, it was a tough loss. He missed that game winner shot. But Ja Morant just hasn't really been the same Ja Morant that we see average giving you 27 and 10. He's just kind of been like chilling a little bit, which they're gonna need that for the playoffs. So hopefully, I would love for the month of March for Ja Morant to just kind of take over a little bit. And they still been winning games a lot because they have a good team. They're a good defense. Jaren Jackson has been playing good. Desmond Bane has been getting better as the season's progressed. They still have good role players that they're gonna win games and they have that toughness where they're gonna win. It's just if we could see Ja Morant kind of turn up a notch and be similar, not saying he needs to average 29 points per game, but if we could see the Ja Morant that we're used to seeing and have him turn up a little bit more, and not just for fourth quarters, even though that's when they need it, but for entire games, I think that's going to do a lot for this Grizzlies team, especially when it comes to playoff time. And number 4, we have the Denver Nuggets. They are 39 and 21 at second in the West. They have the second rated offense, 15th rated defense, and our fifth in net rating. They jump up 3 spots from last power ranking video. Nuggets have been one of the hottest teams in the league too. They were on a 9-game losing streak, 9-game winning streak for the Lakers snapped up. Overall, they've won 11 of their last 13 games, and they've been since the start of 2025. They've been one of the best teams. I mean, they've been winning a lot of games. Now, it hasn't been the best competition. That 9-game win streak, they only faced off against one team that currently is in the top 8 in their conference, and that's the Magic, which they beat. But they did beat the Pacers. They did beat Detroit last night, so those are 2 pretty good wins. They did lose to the Bucks and the Lakers. Nuggets, when it comes to contention, they're still kind of up in the air as well. They do have Nikola Jokic, who is Nikola Jokic, and he's going to be able to win any game at night. Jamal Murray has been a lot better since the start of 2025. He's been starting to find a rhythm. I like what Christian Brown is giving, Aaron Gordon is giving, Russell Westbrook is back. So, I mean, they still have their good things about them. They do have their flaws too. But there's just a team that you can't really ignore just because they do have Nikola Jokic and they do have the potential team that can beat you on any single night. And right now, they're currently starting to find their rhythm. Definitely need to find a defensive rhythm, though. Defensively, just has not been very good, and I would like to see their defense get a lot better and a lot more locked in. But when it comes to offense, when it comes to them winning games, they can do that. So that's why the Nuggets are still winning games in the regular season, still going to be a top team in the West, still going to be a team that is going to be tough to beat. And number 3, we have the Boston Celtics. They are 42 and 18 at second in the East. The 4th rated offense, 5th rated defense, and a 3rd in net rating. They stay the same from last powering video. Celtics were on a bit of a hot streak. They won 10 of their 11. They were like, oh shoot, taking care of teams like here are the Celtics. Last 2 games they lost to Detroit, getting blown out by Detroit. And then last night, a very tough loss when they were dominating Cleveland. The Cavs come back and found a way to win that game, and an insane one. The Celtics are still the Celtics, though. I mean, they're still a team I don't really worry about too much. The only thing you really worry about is the 3-point shooting. There used to be a team last year where they took a lot of threes, and they made a lot of threes. They were historic from 3 last year. This year, they're taking the same amount of threes. They're just not going in as much. Which, when you shoot a lot of threes like that, it's a game you're playing. Where their game plan is, we're just going to take so many threes that they're going to have to fall, and our threes are going to beat your 2s. And that's how we win games. And it hasn't been working as effectively as it usually does. They're still a team that you do not want to face in a 7-game series. Still a team that's just going to be, just has one of the best built teams in the league. Jason Tatum is playing at an amazing level. Jaylen Brown is still doing his thing. When Porzingis is there, it's going to be tough to beat him. Derek White is still good. Pam Pritchard has been 6th man of the year worthy. Jrue Holiday hasn't been as great. He's missing some games too. Still have guys like Al Horford, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett. They just got Torrey Craig that can come in and give you some good minutes. They're still a very good team. They just haven't been as dominant and as elite as they were last year. But they're still a team that I guarantee you do not want to face in a 7-game series. But that game last night was kind of insane how they started off the game so hot and they were winning and everything was going well, and then just Cleveland came back. That was a very, very good game. And number 2, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. 48 and 11, number 1 in the West. The 5th rated offense, best defense, best net rating, stay the same from last power ranking video. Thunder are still Thunder. They did have that game, blew a lead to the Minnesota Timberwolves in an overtime game. That was crazy. And they did struggle with the Nets a little bit, but they came back and ended up winning that game. They did beat Atlanta last night too. And the Thunder are still the Thunder. Chet Holmgren is back, and when he's back, he's playing very good. Shea is still look like the MVP right now. Isaiah Hartenstein did get hurt, but he's back now. And yeah, the Thunder are still the Thunder. There's not really much to say about OKC when you're a team that good. They just have so many things. Again, they did have that loss to Minnesota, but that's really been the only kind of negative mark on the year. I mean, everything else is going so well. And even then, it's not, is it a crazy negative mark? No, it's just happens sometimes. And they also didn't have Chet. Isaiah Hartenstein left the game early. It's just whatever. I mean, shout out to the Timberwolves. Amazing win. But that's really the only negative mark they have right now. Very interested to see how they go in the playoffs when they do get matched up, when they get later down the line in a conference final series or final series. But right now, they're just kind of cruising through the regular year, doing their thing, going to finish number 1 in the West, Shea winning MVP, just having fun, which is what they're supposed to be doing right now. At number 1, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers at 49-10, the best record in the NBA. They have the best offense, 7th rated defense, 2nd in net rating. They say the same for the last power ranking video. The Cavs just doing their thing. They've won 9 in a row. They won 13 of their last 14 games. Cruising right now. Last night, again, like I mentioned earlier, I was talking about the Celtics. That was just an insane win. Coming back, they were down, it's like 20. Weren't they down like 21-3 or 21-5 early in that game? And somehow find a way to catch up and win. Donovan Mitchell just went nuclear with 40. Darius Garland hit some big shots. Evan Mobley made some big plays throughout that game. Their defense were really, really locked in, and they just got comfortable and, kind of just had that fight in them. But yeah, they've been doing great. I mean, just cruising through everywhere. DeAndre Hunter, the new additions is coming in, has fit like a glove. He's shooting 60% from 3 and averaging 13 in his 7 games he's played so far. Ty Jerome has just been on another level as well. They're getting healthy. Isaiah Okoro and Dean Wade are back, and they're both playing pretty solid basketball. So yeah, the Cavs are just doing the Cavs things, running through, winning games, doing their thing. And people are talking about, can they actually beat the Celtics team? People saying yes, some people saying no, all this stuff. And at this point, I'll talk about a lot more contending in the contender, but when you're 49-10, when you won 49 of 59 games, you probably can win. You probably can win the playoffs. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Cavs, it's just been so fun to watch them. Yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do have the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, doing all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it a whole lot. Thank you guys for 900 subscribers. I really appreciate it a whole lot. Let's get to 1,000. Road to 1,000 starts here. I'm very, very excited for it. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.